Hey guys, welcome back to FIFA 22 Fuenlabrada career mode, and today we are going to play our first game with this completely new team. And last episode we completely massively transformed the whole team by signing 10 plus more players. I'm pretty sure I signed 12 or 14 players, and then of course the majority of the new signings will be featured in the team today. And of course we still have returning players from loan, out of loan last season, and of course that's the only player that we're going to talk about later, which is Mula. I believe that's his name, our left midfielder. Unfortunately, one of our best players that we had at the left midfielder area, which is on the Veros. Unfortunately, Sunderland, I believe, has triggered the release clause, or Southampton has triggered the release clause, which means he will be no longer with us, unfortunately. But you know what? The thing is, it's 11.5 million total, but of course there's 9.5 million euros are at least allocated into our transfer budget, and of course we use that money to sign increasingly more players, adding more depth, and of course there's a lot of fun signing a lot of players, majority from the free agency, and of course which is something I really do love about FIFA. It's of course they have a pretty abundant amount of good players. I would say decent players, not like the best top players, but of course the majority of players that I signed from free agency, they are young, good age, and of course good rating as well. Unfortunately, none of them has any of the potential tags, which is totally fine. Of course, I am not expecting them to grow massively, but of course giving us enough quality, enough depth in order for us to actually compete for promotion this season. But of course, right here we were playing the first game. We scored early on 2 goals right there, and of course Navarro scoring the first goal, and also I believe Coendrita. That's how you pronounce his name. I still need to research some of the players' name because I don't have a clue how you pronounce the name. But anyway, the other team, they score one back immediately, and here comes Lautaro, our newly signed striker. Unfortunately, that one was a little bit of a miscue in the end, but in the end we won this game 2-1. Very happy with the result, and of course by the time when I was playing this game, definitely felt so much different compared to the team that we played with last season. And right now, looking at the finances right here, we have approximately 4.5 million euros to spend. Of course, since we don't really have a top quality left midfielder, we're going on for Nico Serrano, another Serrano in the team. This time 3.5 million. It was a little bit it was 300k euros under the valuation, which is totally fine. I'm glad the other team accept the bid, and of course in the end signing the players, and he will be our newly signed left midfielder, which means Mula will be pretty much out of the team if I want him to, because again he is 26-year-old, doesn't really have a potential tag. But of course, this time Nico Serrano has showing great potential, which means he will be ranging in between 81 to 85 area. So he will be in the end, it will be a very good signing in the end, and which means Kante will be leaving the club as well. Of course, right now we have 3 strikers in the team that I will be using throughout the whole season. The first one will be Saikin, I believe that's how I pronounce his name, and of course Lautaro. But don't forget about our own locally produced Stranad from Slovakia or Slovenia. And of course, Kante will be leaving the club, even though it's around 1 million euros. But of course, it will be a good money. We'll use that money to actually sign more players. In this case, again, it is never enough. We gotta sign more players in order to actually build that champion team. Of course, we are still in second division. I know it's too early to tell. If we are gonna qualify for automatic promotion, but we will have to see. And right here we responded one back despite giving up the first goal very early on. Navarro's been on fire, scoring the second goal for today's game, and of course 2 goals in 2 games in a row. I'm very happy for him. 33rd minute right here. Here comes the other team, but of course Cinquantes right here makes a very good save right there, even though it's pretty much straight right at him. But of course 36 minutes right here. The other team has pretty much a chance right here, but again, good save by Cifuentes. And of course, there's a lot of doubt around Cifuentes because, of course, he is 61 rated, but by the time when I called him up, it was like 61 rated. But of course, there are a lot of doubts in terms of his goalkeeping skills. But turns out, in this game, he proves he is a very important asset for the team and making a lot of saves here and there. He is still very young, and he has an exciting prospect tag on his status, which means he will be a very good player in the future. And I'm looking forward to actually just stick with him throughout the whole season. And of course, we sold Bellman. Initially, my plan, he would be the number one goalkeeper, but again, we have a much younger goalkeeper, much more room to grow. And of course, that's the time when I think, you know what, Cifuentes will be our number one goalkeeper, which means I sold Bellman. But again, it is a little bit risky for the fact that we only have one goalkeeper in the team, and of course that's not enough. What happened if Cifuentes is injured, out for a few months? I don't know how's that gonna work. But of course, I never actually seen a goalkeeper getting injured in FIFA. But of course, that is something that we also do need to concern. And right here, unfortunately, this game, second game of today's game, we play against Mallorca. Unfortunately, a late last-minute equalizer just kind of painfully took our 3 points away. But again, it is just part of the process. It is going to happen. And Alejandro Mula I have accepted a bid from another team, which means he will be most likely leaving the club as well. And right now, moving on to the third game, pretty much the last game in this episode, we are playing against Cadiz. Right here, CF, and of course, a very important game as well. Again, we drew the second game, and we thought we putting ourselves a little bit of a doubt here and there in terms of the ability that we have. And right here, pretty much Cadiz got the first chance right here. Perea right here back to the midfielder. Turns out another great save as Cifuentes to keep them away at this point. And Negrero, who remember Negrero from Man City back in 2013-2017 season, was a long time ago, I believe. And of course, it's nice to see some of the past Premier League members. And of course, there are a couple of players that I do remember back in their glory days. For example, Negrero, and also it was Hesse, back in PSG. And somehow he was playing for La Palmas in this season. And right here, Serrano scoring his first goal for the club. And of course, very good finish right there. He is not of a typical inverted winger. He is more of a wide midfielder, which means that he is not that type of player that he would cut back inside and take a shot, but instead keep going forward and keep using his left side, as like stronger foot to get a much better grasp on his side. And right here in the second half, we were pretty much controlling the game here and there, but unfortunately, we still couldn't really find a second goal. But that is where the problem starts to begin, because again, if we don't start scoring goals, the other team are going to hunt you right at the back. And here comes a Cadiz right here, and just a lot of stuff going on in the middle, and bad defending. And Thomas Lamb, it was very late for him to actually make a sliding tackle towards the end. And Cadiz has finally scored equalizer in the 55th minute, and all that hard work, it's gone. We were holding on the lead pretty well in the 73rd minute, and pretty much we are collapsing right here. Here comes Lozano, took a shot, but you know what? Nobody to blame except our defense, and I don't even blame Cifuentes in that situation. And we are falling behind right here, 2-1. Just in the course of 20 minutes, everything just changed. And right now, it's like we pretty much collapsed. We know this game's already ended. Here comes Lorenzo. So Fuentes make another great save right there. And in the end, we lost 2-1. And it makes me think, have we even improved, to be honest? But this is something that we will find out in the future. But of course, doesn't really show much in the first 3 games. But of course, it is pretty much we cannot determine what we're doing right now, because again, it's still too early. Unfortunately, right there, Thomas Lamb has his release clause has been triggered, which means he will be leaving the club as well. And of course, right now we have to add more depth into the team. And as I said it earlier, I did talk about the lack of depth in the goalkeeping issue, and we signed this player, Kasmarak, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, and he will be our backup goalkeeper. Despite I gave him a important team player. But of course, it's not going to happen. But we have to move on to the defensive back. Of course, we are moving on to Gavin Rokes or Rokes. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Again, I'll gotta Google Translate later on. And of course, he will be our new defender, replacing Thomas Lamb. But this time, we have a naturally gifted left-footed center back, which we really do need. Yes, we do have Charles Endua, our youth player, but unfortunately he's not. He's still injured, plus his rating has gone down by 1 or 2, which is not very ideal, but this is what's going to happen. But of course, 69 rated for both, 69 rated for the defender, and Lamb has been sold. 1.3 million has been added into the budget, which means we have closed down the transfer window, and honestly, we have signed 16 players, which is incredible. And looking at the table right now, yes, we are nowhere close. We are no sight to see in the table, the Liga Smartband table. But it doesn't matter. First 3 games, it is going to be tough. Please trust the process. I believe things are going to turn around with the team that I have. You know what, guys? It's the time when I start playing with them, using the same team. I felt so much better. I felt so much better compared to last season. I believe we are going to make something special. We're going to make something out of it in the end. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you guys in a bit.